Welcome to SpiceCandies. We're making some hard candies from the same white plum jam. As you can see, our experimentation has reduced it considerably, so let's get to it. Here we go. Sugar, jam, which I really hope is not going to give us any issues because this is fairly acidic, and while I don't know what kind of acid is there, there's a good chance it's citric acid. And citric acid breaks down sugars, so if you try to cook something with citric acid, and I mean candies specifically, they're going to turn dark and very nasty flavored. So let's give it a shot. Worst case scenario, we do have a plan B. There we go. Corn syrup. I'm adding roughly 1 spoon. The reason is the jam has quite enough of water in it. So, that being said, let's turn on the heat. Make sure our pot is centered nicely. And get to cooking. Right. Now while this is cooking, I want to say I'm sorry I didn't have time to cook any candies, not to mention posting any videos with the kids and the holidays and preparations for next year and such. We just didn't have the time. I never got to cooking candies. Otherwise, you guys would have seen those. So, again, I'm going to try my best to upload a video at least once a week, but I have no idea if I can do that. Okay, straight off the pan. And we can just pour it over the mat. It does smell a bit burnt. Okay. If you recall, I guess that since this is an acidic jam, we're going to get an acidic result. And the acid would react to the sugar and break it down. So this is a lot darker than it should be. And I'm guessing I just, well, burnt some sugar. So, cut the candy. Not sure you can call it a candy. I've shifted this to a cooler area. Let's try and see if we can cut it. Yeah, we can. Sticky, very sticky, very hot. You can see these have combined, and I mean lines, and I can recut. I cooled my aluminum piece, and now it cuts. Right, okay. Cool a bit more. It's scorching hot. There we go. And 1 and 2 and 3. Yeah, we got candies. I'm not sure they're edible. And that's the risk with natural ingredients. As I was saying, with blueberries, I tried literally everything, and I can get blueberries. Right, so while this cools off, let's make another batch and plan on plan B, basically speaking. Let's go for it. Okay, sugar, jam, okay, and corn syrup, some water, and there we go. Right, now while this is warming up, I can tell you that plan B is toffee. Toffee doesn't reach the hard crack temperature, which is 150 degrees Celsius, 300 degrees Fahrenheit. I usually cook my toffee to 123 degrees Celsius. Can't recall the number, I can show it in the middle of the pot here. And this should allow the sourness of the jam to be less aggressive with the candy, because we're not reaching the high temperatures. Well, we'll have to wait and see. Let's get to it. The plums tend to stick to the bottom, so we need to avoid that. And we'll just keep stirring. We're getting there very slowly, but we are. We're done. Take that off the heat. Right, this does look lovely. I had to rush and pour it. I think I didn't press record, which also doesn't help getting the right footage, but sorry about that. That being said, we got a really nice and clear candy. You can see from this. It's already clearish. You can see the black bottom over there. And I'm usually pouring my hot toffee into a pan, basically. So the idea is to cool it off rather fast instead of letting it simmer on its own heat, because this does contain quite a bit of thermal mass. Same goes for the pan, because the pan is really hot. It has a thick bottom and it does heat up the batch. So basically speaking, if you just shut off the heat, it doesn't mean your candy is not still boiling and cooking away, losing more and more moisture, getting higher up in the hard crack or towards the hard crack stage. It just means that you're not thinking about it, which means it's getting stiffer and stiffer over time. And this is especially crucial when it comes to toffee, because toffee, unlike hard candies, is very crucial, because you gotta get it exactly right. A few degrees off, a few degrees below, a few degrees above, it's very crucial. So we'll cool it off and then we're going to pull it. While we're allowing my toffee to cool off, let's try this thing. First of all, the humidity here is a killer. It's already sticky. Second of all, it's hard. I can break it. And let's try a piece. Yo, that's disgusting. That is beyond the belief. Definitely you can taste, well, if you've tasted that before, you can analyze the taste, and it's definitely burnt sugar. Not because I overheated it, because of the sourness, because of the low pH in the jam. So definitely that's citric acid, because it broke down that sugar into whatever caramel-like substance, and it tastes horrible. Right, there's only one thing to do with this batch. Right, let's see what we can do with our toffee. We can already take this side, put that here, and we'll let it cool off. It looks nice and clear, and I think we're gonna get a decent toffee out of that. Alright, this looks ready, room temperature, soft-ish, as you can see. So get it a bit less sticky, and ooh, I think this jam needs a higher temperature than 123. It doesn't want to release. Okay, in this case we got a trick up our sleeve. It's called a freezer. Let's freeze, oh, partially freeze it, just to harden it a bit. Alright, off I go. Well, a couple of minutes in the freezer. It's not frozen, but it's definitely stiffer than it used to be. And there you go. You can release it. And now that's possible. Wonderful. Flip it. Now, having these results, and this is the first time I've done something like that, I'd say that next time I'd cook it at 125, no more. And now let's start pulling. Now, if you take a bite into this, it looks good, right? It looks nice and plummy. But if you take a bite into that, you're not going to be talking anytime soon, because this is just like cement. This is going to bind your teeth and hold it shut. You have to introduce some air into that. You have to aerate the candy to make it softer, to make it pliable, to make it chewable, basically speaking. Otherwise, you're going to have a candy that basically shuts you up for 2 hours until the sugar dissolves. Now this is definitely too soft. I usually like to work a bit harder, and this does take a little bit of muscle, elbow grease, and this is nice. It's going to make a fairly soft toffee. It's not going to be that hard. So you can see the color has changed. You can see it's now a little bit more shiny due to the small air bubbles included, and it's definitely brighter. So we're getting there. And it takes about a few minutes just to pull it. You can see me do it live. I'm not speeding this up. Right, and from time to time it's nice to change the orientation and pull it to make sure everything has been pulled. Alright, I think that's the best result. We're not going to get any better than that, and it's time to cut it. We're going to put a lot of sugar there, because otherwise it's going to be ultra sticky. Now you can see the humidity here, because everything is getting shiny, bright and shiny. Okay, give it one last pull. Okay. Good amount of sugar powder. And this should be, and you can see it's being incorporated into the candy because it's so humid here. But that's August in Israel. That's really, really hot. One of my least favorite months of the year. That and April, because we've got to do all that cleaning. Right. Now if you haven't made any toffee before, you can't just cut it to bits and just put these in a jar and say, oh, they're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. They're going to be one huge mass. You're never going to get a candy out of that. You have to actually put each and every piece in a single wrap, its own wrapping. Right, so let me get my hands clean, get this coated properly so I can cut it, and there we go. Right, found the scissors. It's going to be a very soft toffee. Again, next time, I didn't pull it. You can see it's flattening. Definitely a toffee that matches, well, I don't know, I think for cakes it's going to be perfect. I'm going to thin it out a bit so I can wrap it more easily. But yeah, it's not going to be a really stretchy toffee that you have to chew on. It's going to be a very soft one. Well, that's stuff you learn on the go because there's no other way. That's really nice. Usually toffee kind of sticks to everything and is stiff, and it depends on what you incorporate into that. If it's a commercial brand, then it's fairly soft because they add margarine to that, which makes sense, otherwise their machines would wear off rather fast. But as for me, I don't like margarine or food dyes, and there's no need. Look at that. That's a lovely, pretty, orangey candy. Nothing wrong with that. Right, let's speed up the montage. I really don't like it when it's so runny, but we're done. I'll try and separate these guys now. It's really, really soft. It's like a pile of small cushions. I don't know what to tell you about that. Soft and sticky. You can see it sticks to itself. Thank you very much, sir. I really did wanted 2 candies there. Same goes over here. So yeah, trying to get back to a single mass. Okay, I think we'll need to freeze it a bit longer this time so we can actually cut it, because it's not going to go. I'm going to combine it for the last time, and then I'm going to make a snake and freeze it a bit, because otherwise we'll never get it done. And it's like Play-Doh, really soft and nice. You can see it's already incorporated all that flour, all that powdered sugar, I mean, not flour. Right. Okay. A bit more powdered sugar. We'll roll a snake. A big long snake. Very softish snake, and we'll freeze it. I mean, really freeze it. Not until it's rock hard, but until it's tough enough for me to work with it, because right now it's really annoying. Okay, there we go. I'm trying to thin it down to candy thickness, and since it didn't eat an elephant, it should be more or less evenly sized. I think so. There we go. switch that into the freezer and sprinkle a bit more over there, and we'll see what we can do. Now the freezer itself is problematic. I'll stick it to the plate because once it gets out, it's cooler than the environment, and then you get moisture condensation over the candy. Now it's behaving nicely. Now it's hard to cut it. And the last one, really nice. So we have some toffee here, which is really nice. I really like it. And this white plum jam definitely surprised me. I did hope we could make some hard candy out of it, but this is what we got. And this is the fun thing, because candies that are made from natural ingredients are really interesting. They'll never give you an easy solution to things, but if you really put your mind to it, you can really make some nice stuff out of it. And we have made from this very jam some gummy bears, we've made some sour sticks, and we've made some toffee. And this just shows you that you can do anything you want. If you don't want to cook a jam, just buy one and make whatever kind of candies you like, your kids like, your family loves. Enjoy it. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Have a sweet day.